RT is sitting down with independent underground political rapper Diabolic. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, your album Liar and a Thief hit stores in April. Can you give us a sample of the best song on that album?
I got one. Just as I expected, I'll get my poetic justice. When the cats who run the game are leaving on a set of crutches. When they lay screaming in the general public because the metal rusted on their gun and backfired when it busted. It's just a little something.
You've described yourself as a rebel with a cause. What does that mean? What is your cause?
I'm fighting for the people, you know? I don't think the government really has our best interests in mind on street level, ever. So I'm basically fighting for the common man. The way the system's set up now, I mean, it's becoming a police state on every block. Can't walk through Penn Station without, you know, seeing armed Marines. You're basically bringing kids up to believe that this is how life is supposed to be. And it's not. It's not freedom. It's an illusion of freedom. It's an illusion of having a choice. You know, we're here to open up the eyes of the disillusioned, honestly.
You've described yourself as not consciously a political rapper, yet a lot of your lyrics focus on political issues. Which issues are really at the top of your list right now?
I mean, I really want to expose the government for what it is. You know, a lot of the underhanded dealings, the, you know, behind-the-scenes stuff. It's a boys' club. It's a fraternity of men with money and power that basically make the decisions that determine our futures. And I think these people should be exposed.
You don't think it's the job of the government to make these decisions and be entitled to actually have power to make these decisions?
We're given this idea that our vote counts, you know. They don't tell us that our vote doesn't really have to be counted. The Electoral College is prone to vote the way the people vote, but they don't have to. So really, what's our vote? We elect a representative. I don't know any of these people. You got a two-party system, this bipartisan system that they have. I mean, it's set up to fail.
So what do you think realistically needs to be done for real change to actually take place?
Go back to the Declaration of Independence, you know? If the government is failing you, it's our duty to instill new government. They work on their best interest. They don't know me. They don't know my child or my friends and their kids or their cousins or their brothers and sisters or my parents. They don't know anything about us, and they really don't care. And to be honest with you, I think they do it to benefit themselves, their futures, the money going into their bank accounts.
You often attack George Bush in your lyrics.
Yeah.
Is it still important to talk about him, or is this a sign of the past? Are you really upset about him? Why still him?
I mean, when I wrote that song, he was still in office. You know, Obama was
It's not just one song, it's quite a few.
It was a couple songs, you know. And, but I mean, I think it's important not to forget that, what went on for the past 8 years. Obama coming into office, in my mind, this is my opinion, people can choose to agree or disagree, but I believe that the change that was made, you know, because that was a big step in American culture, and the whole world saw it, and everybody got behind Obama. I think that was done for a reason by the U.S. government. I think, you know, powers that be behind the scenes did that for a specific purpose, to make people forget all the BS that went on for 8 years. I mean, and you know what? We're still in a war that we shouldn't be in right now. We're in Afghanistan. How did it go from Iraq, which was ridiculous, where we had no business being there? Now we're in Afghanistan, and we're convincing our people via the media that they're the threat. When were they ever a threat? What did they do? Or is it that we just want their oil? And we want a stronghold in the Middle East to get all the oil and take all the money and all the power, move in a one-world government and keep it moving.
What does Obama signify for you? Is he a face of change for you? Is he more of the same or something different?
It scares me how enamored people are by him. It scares me because people forget that he had to play the game too. He had to play the game coming up to get where he is. And for him to move that rapidly up the chain of command, he had to play that game real well, and he had to do a lot of favors and probably owes a lot of favors for that. I don't trust him. He's a politician. How is he any different from any other politician? Is he like the sneaky guy who got in there and is a guy for the people and he's going to change the whole system? No, he's not going to change the system. He's going to be in there for 8 years, keep the system going how it does, and then they'll get someone in after him.
Another thing you largely focus in your lyrics is the New World Order. Many people who talk about it are labeled conspiracy theorists and so on. So why is it important for you to keep bringing attention to it, and what is it for those who don't know?
First of all, I think it's already here. I get a lot of people asking me, when's it going to happen? I think it came with a smile years ago. From the research I've done, basically, they're trying to usher in a one world government where everybody is lumped into one category and there's one power that holds all the power. I mean, you can see it already starting in Europe, like firsthand. They got the euro now. They start with the money.
Why is that bad?
How do you check them? Who's there to check them? If there's one guy that runs the whole show or a panel of guys that run the whole show, we're basically going to be living in a corporation worldwide.
But many people are saying the U.S. is already a corporation and that the government can't be checked either way, if it's one big global government or if it's the U.S. government. So what's the difference there?
I mean, right now there's another country. You got China. I mean, there's countless countries out there who do not like us. They can't stand us because of our world policy and the things we do to other people.
Are you saying that's good?
I think that's very good.
Do you mean that creates some sort of balance?
Definitely. I think it's necessary. If you take that away and there's a one world government, there's no enemies. There's just them. They run the show and we're the enemy. Looking up at them, trying to fight. It's like throwing stones in a gunfight, you know?
But if other countries exist right now that sort of counterbalance what goes on in the United States, for example, why are people talking about the New World Order? Why is it a threat?
I think it was a plan written and executed to perfection hundreds of years ago. And we're just starting to see it come to fruition. And, I mean, it could become very scary soon. Everything's unstable. Look at our economy. And I think it's part of a plan. Keep the people scared. Keep their money scared.
Are the people scared right now?
I think so. I think everybody's scared right now. They're not spending money. Look at the economy. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. Everybody's in debt. You can't make enough to live. It's just going to get worse. And, I mean, do people really think that wasn't doctored up by our government? Like they had no hand in any of this?
You think they did?
Absolutely. The banks were failing. What'd they do? They handed the banks billions of dollars. They handed them, bailed them out. None of that money went back into the system, and nobody went back to check them for it. It just happened. They basically handed them big bonuses to keep their pockets padded. Never went back to the people where it was supposed to go. They let the people rot and let the bankers get rich.
One last thing I want to ask you is one of your songs says, "I'd rather die fighting than live as a coward." Mm-hmm. Fighting for what? And are you calling for a revolution? What do you mean?
I mean, I think we need to revolutionize the system, really. I think we need to change how politicians are elected. How come I have to take a civil service test to become a correction officer if that's what I chose? So basically I have to take a test and get a certain grade on it to go watch inmates in a prison. But there's no test to become the president of the United States. You know? I mean, George Bush is an idiot. Everybody knows that. He's a moron. He never had to take a test to get in office. He wrote his daddy's name right into office and totally screwed our country up for a good 8 years and probably another 20 after it before we'll fully recover from what he did financially to the entire country. Now you got Obama. Hopefully he'll lead us in the right direction. I doubt it, but hopefully. Did he have to take a test? How do we know this guy's even qualified? He's a very good speaker. I know he's very good as a public spokesman, but how do we know he's qualified to do this job? Put a test there for these guys. That's the most important job in the country.
Who comes up with the test?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think you submit it, you get a panel of people who are bright enough to do something like that. Professors, political science professors from Harvard, Yale, wherever. Hopefully, you know, they're not part of the boys club, you know.
Diabolic, thank you very much for your time with us. Good luck with your new album.
Thank you.